All right, I know you had asked me about knitting two together, or what is it, K2tog. It's a real simple, I mean really, really simple way to decrease or create some patterns. It creates a slant in some of your work. It's very common. It's used a lot with either yarn over or knit front to back. So I'm kind of abandoning our old stuff of right side, wrong side, right side, wrong side. Oh, that means that my battery is dying. So I'm just going to knit a couple rows just to kind of get back into the swing of things on the knitting. Maybe plug in my phone soon. Yeah, you probably heard my incoming email and my incoming text message ringtones too. Awesome. All right. So to knit two together, I'm going to knit one because I don't like doing that on the very first stitch if I don't have to, because that's always a funky stitch. To knit two together, all you do is I kind of get two stitches on their lonesome like that. Push these other ones to the side. And you knit both of them at the same time. So what you do is, sometimes what I do is I kind of work it a little bit to make the stitch loose on both. And then you just, let's see if I can get closer for you. Knit through both of the stitches at the same time. So see, I've got both stitches and both stitches, and then knit as normal. Now, by doing that, oops, I lost it. Knit two together. I tend to do that a lot. It's just to kind of make sure that my tension's not too tight. And you'll notice that there's two stitches. There's two, 1 and 2 with the yarn. You push them off. I don't want this thing to decrease. It's only 10 stitches long, so what I'm going to do is make one, or knit front to back. So I'm going to knit as normal, and instead of pushing it off, what I'm going to do is knit that back side. I'm going to knit into the back, and that gives me 2 stitches. So I took 2 off, and then I put 2 right back on. And that'll create a little line in your knitting, but it's whatever. So to knit 2, this is what I suppose this is how I usually do it. You may have heard, I don't know how well the microphone is on this. You can almost hear the tension going through both. Oops. This is also really hard to do. I might add doing this by watching it through the video camera. So I've gotten through the 2 stitches. I make sure that both stitches are there. I knit. I double check that there's the 2 stitches there, and then I push them off. And then to compensate for this particular example, I'm going to knit as normal. Instead of pushing it off, I'm going to knit through the back of the loop. So I'm going to twist that around and come in through the back. And then knit as normal, and then push it off. I know that's really kind of confusing, and if that's something you're interested in learning, I may be able to do a better knit one front back than what I just showed you. So we knit 2 together. See how that's really hard to do if you don't kind of make them behave first. So I kind of do whatever it takes to get them a little loose, and then I can put it through without a problem. Another way to make a stitch is to bring up one of the legs from underneath, but if you're interested in that, we'll go over that later. Just let me know. It's really not a problem. It's just I may need to get a better camera. So knit front to back creates the 2 stitches. So by the end, even though we decreased a lot, I should still have exactly 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is knitting 2 together as well as knit 1, making a stitch, knit front back. I'll do one, let me get these knit real quick, a little looser. That's another thing too, if you're reading your pattern and you realize you may have to be decreasing, it may be nice to kind of keep the tension low on this side so that you don't have to struggle as much, because my tension was a little tight. So it was a little more difficult to put that through. So I've kept my stitches a little looser, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to decrease down so there's only 5 stitches. So it's more of a traditional knit 2 together. So I kind of separate 2 stitches, and I just knit through 2 at the same time. And see, there's 2, push them off. I knit through 2 at the same time. And you almost do kind of have to move your needles, at least I do, almost parallel, and then bring it to the correct place for knitting. So you'd knit 2 together. There's 2. Cast it on off. And you'd knit 2 together. There's my 2. Cast it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we've decreased it. See? And that's really handy in hats and a lot of stuff. It creates some sort of a pattern. If you go to knittinghelp.com and look at their videos, it shows you increases and decreases and what has a right slant and what has a left leading slant, but I can never remember because I don't write patterns, so I don't particularly care that much. Now I'm going to end up making, I'm going to knit front to back all of these so I can get my 10 stitches back. I need my stitches. Knit front to back. And all that is a regular old knit, and then you bring it to the back. Oh no, oh no. See, I've dropped some stitches. So what I'm going to do is just let them pop out. And there's the stitch that came off. I don't know if you can see it. I've just kind of saved it by putting it back on my needle. And you can tell which one dropped, because if you look at the back, that one doesn't have yarn. This one has yarn. So just put it back on the original needle. And continue with your pattern and don't screw up the next time. Knit front to back. I do that all the time. And sometimes you can actually put the original stitches back on, like the 2 that you made. I find that it's sometimes just easier to let it go. Just pick up the other stitch. It's all good. When I get back home, I forgot my crochet hooks, so when I get home I'm going to drop some stitches intentionally and show you how to pick them back up in another video. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 back where they used to be. You can see it decreased, and then there'll be another increase. And that's knit 2 together. There's also purl 2 together, which, hey, guess what? It's the same thing, it's only mirrored image. So what you do is you get 2 stitches in like that. Make sure your yarn's in front, and then purl. There's your stitch. There are the 2 stitches that you're purling together. Cast off. That's really not cast off, it's more throw off. Cast off is something completely different, which we'll get into later. So through 1 and then through 2. You see there's 2 stitches. I'm going to purl them together. And there's a stitch. Purl 2 together. It's back around. This is probably easier to see, like, how to do it. Purl 2 together. Because knitting, it's, you know, it's all in the back, so you can't really see. Purl 2 together. Oops. It's a tight stitch. And there you go. We've purled 2 together. So that creates a decrease with the bumps, you know, coming towards you, which we're used to. And then we'll do knit front to back again, just to get it back up to 10. This is going to be the weirdest little piece of pink yarn ever. Knit front back, knit front back, knit front back, knit front, knit back. Alright, I hope that made sense. If it doesn't make sense, just let me know. I'll make a better video, or link you to one that's even better than mine, because there's tons that are better than mine. Alright,